What's up, everybody, and welcome to Tino's Time. And on this episode, we are going to talk about championship week. Yes, I said it. It's down to the final four. There's four teams left after one of the best weekends of football we've ever seen. There was upsets galore. There were 3 out of 4 games came down to field goals. And we saw the last game that was phenomenal and one of the best games that we've seen in football in a long time. We've seen some GMs hired, some coaches hired that we're going to get into. We have so much to get to on this episode. But before we can, let me bring on my special guest, Corey Sparks, All Sports Now, very own Corey. Welcome back, Corey, to Tino's Time. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, man.
Good. What week was it that we did the picks? I think it was like week 11 or 13.
Yeah, it was middle of the year. I remember that much.
I can't believe how fast the time has gone, dude. We're already in championship week. We're one game away from the Super Bowl. Like, I can't even believe that.
Yeah, time flies.
It really does. I guess as we get older, time just does really seem to go by faster.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But before we talk about championship week, do you want to get into the divisional round? Because these 4 games were phenomenal, and it was probably the best weekend of football in the playoffs that we've seen in a while. And especially after the wild card round, I felt like it was going to be a bunch of blowouts because that's all it was in the wild card round, was just a bunch of games that it seemed like one team got ahead and it was over.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about all these games before we start talking about them individually?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to see the first 3, and then I worked an inventory shift for the 4th one. So I missed the Chiefs-Bills game live. I had to go walk back and watch the condensed version of the game, and that was the best game. But Packers game was really interesting, seeing that offense get shut down. Special teams coordinator is probably on his way out the door. The other matchup, the Brady going down, was really interesting, especially considering they almost came back from 27-3. Yeah, lots of really, and then the Bengals, the unsung heroes, they're going to stay alive. So there were a lot of really good games.
Bro, I love that. I would love to see the Bengals go all the way. That would be just so cool. But while we're talking about the Bengals, let's talk about that game first, because they were going up against the number 1 seed Tennessee Titans, and the King returned. The King, Derrick Henry, has been out with a foot injury. My man had him in fantasy football. Sitting on the IR bench all season long. And of course, he comes back in the regular playoffs, but he did look good enough. I think I should keep him next year. But this game, honestly, was a lot. I don't know how you felt about it, but I thought there was going to be a lot more points scored. And it came down to a field goal. Mm-hmm. Burrow, he threw a couple interceptions. Tannehill cannot seem to do anything. Do you think Tannehill could really be like the quarterback, or do you think he's just like a regular season quarterback, or do you think he could lead the Titans to a championship?
So when you have Derrick Henry and they're healthy for the entire year, I don't think you need a great quarterback. You just need someone who can build off the play action. You know, a lot of teams are going to run commit because it's Derrick Henry. So you'll usually have your one-on-one matchups outside with guys like Julio, who was hurt this year, and then AJ Brown, Ferkser. I don't think he's the guy though. Huh?
I mean, wasn't AJ hurt too at one point? Everybody.
Yeah. I know Julio had a hamstring injury all year, and then AJ's had different things going on, but it's definitely been a bad year for them injury wise. But to answer your question about Tannehill, I don't think he's the guy. You don't need someone who's great. You just need someone who, can hand the ball off and occasionally throw down the field. He cannot throw down the field for his life. I said it before this week. He was going to throw the game away, and he did.
Well, and that's exactly what it seemed like it got down to. And it seemed like I understand Derrick Henry was returning from injury and stuff, but why didn't they use him a lot more? They seemed to bring Foreman in a lot during the game at some point, and it was just like, why? Like, I didn't understand exactly what they were doing, but I mean, I was very surprised because, like I said, with everything the Titans went through with injuries, they were the number 1 seed, and they were the best team in the AFC. They beat out the Chiefs, the Bills, teams that we thought were going to be it, and, it just seemed like it was just, I can't even think of the word, but it was just like a downfall waiting to happen. Like, it was just like, it just seemed like it was waiting to happen. And like I said, it came down to that field goal, man. And Evan, how do you say his last name? Is it
McPherson?
McPherson. He went up to Joe Burrow and goes, looks like we're going to the championship game, before he went out and hit the kick.
Yeah, the rookie.
Bro, and that was the thing. Like, I didn't even know he was a rookie until they started talking about him the last few weeks. I thought he was like his second or third year, but when he hit that kick, he's been so clutch all season that I don't want to bring it up, but if the Bears would have had Evan a couple years ago, we might have been very.
It would have helped. Yep.
Yeah.
Pull him out of college.
Literally, all these games came down the kickers. Kickers are important, man. They always say about kickers that they're not that important, but they very much are. The Bengals did end up winning that game 19-16 and knocking out the number 1 seed Titans. Honestly, I said it in my show that I thought it could happen, but I really deep down, I didn't think it wouldn't. I thought Derrick Henry would run all over them. But once that happened with the Titans game, I was waiting for something else because it was just ready to seem like that type of a weekend. Because the other game on Saturday was the 49ers versus Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, the almighty NFC North champs, blah, blah, blah. You tone, COVID knowing, shots, whatever he wants to say. They went out and they dominated the NFC pretty much all season long. I don't know if you saw this, but the 3 years that Rodgers and LaFleur have been together, they have been 13-3 every single year. And, I feel like they said it like during like the week and everything. When you go up against the Bears that have sucked forever for a while now, the Lions that are the Lions are awful. And the Vikings, you should have 6 wins no matter what.
That's 6 free wins every year.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, let's be real. The Bears might upset once in a while. The Lions might learn how to play football, but like it's very unexpected to happen. And Rodgers' numbers versus the Bears, as you know, because we're both diehard Bears fans, is ridiculous. Oh, yeah. So it's like that wasn't even fair. And did you know that Rodgers' numbers were not that good versus the 49ers?
Yeah, I knew that they had his number because I know that Kaepernick did it to them a pair of times in the playoffs. And I know that Jimmy G kind of managed his way through the game 2 years ago, but I didn't know Rodgers wasn't doing that well until like I saw the splits after the game. And I was like, somebody's got his number.
I cannot believe that you just can't even believe you just brought up Colin Kaepernick because I kind of forgot about that game. But once you said it, I'm like picturing him just running down the field, like running
down the field on him,
just
outrunning their safety.
Bro, it was like the Bears going to the Super Bowl watching Colin Kaepernick knock out the Packers. And in this game, it felt like it was the same type of way. The Packers couldn't do anything on offense. The defense looked really good. But
defense was great, yeah.
But special teams was awful. They costed them, 14 points because they missed a field goal at the end of the second half after Rodgers made that phenomenal throw. Was it to Adams?
I think so, yeah.
It was Adams or Lazard. But then they blocked the field goal. They missed that. And then the punter, I don't know what happened with him, but they blocked it and they got a touchdown. And that was literally the difference in the game. Like, you put 3 points on for the Packers and take away that for the 49ers, that was the game. And, like we were talking about kickers, special teams is as important. And I didn't realize how bad the Packers special teams were until they were talking about it after the game too. They were saying like that they were like this and that, and it was just like shocking. So, I felt like it was phenomenal because we were talking about it before we started recording. I told my friend that watch Robbie Gould knock out the Packers because it would have been awesome. I love Robbie Gould. The Bears should have never got rid of him. We talked about that earlier too.
Yeah.
Decision ever. And it came down to a Robbie Gould field goal. And Robbie came in clutch like he always does. And he literally eliminated the Packers himself. And I don't know if you were on Twitter at the time, bro, but it exploded as if the Bears went on and won the divisional round and we're going to the championship. I felt like the Bears won, bro. It was weird, but like watching the Packers get eliminated that way and watching Rodgers walk off the field was just like, he even said it in his press conference, like he doesn't like know, but like he doesn't want to be on a team that's going to be rebuilding.
Right.
And like we talked about with the numbers with the 49ers, it's great and all. You could get 40 wins in the regular season, but if you can't beat the Niners, if you can't beat teams to get there, what is the point? And they made a good point after the show and after the game. I forgot what I was watching, and they said that like you need to find the quarterback that's going to be able to get you over the hump, and Rodgers' numbers just aren't good in the playoffs. Like, he's a great regular season quarterback, but he's not good in the playoffs. I don't know what that is. Do you think this is Rodgers' last game as a Packer?
So he said he's going to make his decision by March 8th, which is the franchise tag deadline, out of respect for Devontae, because he doesn't want Devontae to wait around and then, get tagged if he ends up leaving. So because it's the end of his contract too. So I don't know. I think it is the last game that he'll be in a Packers uniform though. He's either going to shop the market or he might hang it up. He doesn't seem invested. We had the whole debacle before this season where, he was on vacation. He didn't give them a solid answer until training camp. I just don't think that there's going to be enough there. There's a lot of guys to pay. Some people are going to have to take a pay cut. It's really going to have to be a group effort if they want to keep him there.
Isn't it like 17 guys that they have?
It's a ton. Yeah, it's almost a third of the entire roster, the active roster.
It was, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like if Rodgers does leave, Adams isn't going to want to stay there. Like, I mean,
no, absolutely not.
We saw the few games that Love did play, and he was throwing it to Lazard, St. Brown, Tanyan at the time. I think Tanyan was before he tore his ACL.
Yeah,
he just was not targeting Adams, and I don't think Adams is going to do that. I feel like Adams is going to be like Gronkowski. Wherever Rodgers goes, Adams is going to go. And do you think Adams would retire? I mean, if Rodgers did retire, that was something I was just thinking about. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I think he's too young.
I mean, I definitely think he is too. But like, I don't know. I mean, he could come to the Bears.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I mean, Justin Fields.
Go play your former team.
I mean, if we got the coach from the Colts, the defensive coach we'll be talking about later, that maybe you could bring in Jonathan Taylor too.
Right? Yeah.
That's a dream, right?
I wish.
But hey, at least the Packers got eliminated. Now we don't got to listen to the cheeseheads for another year, and then we might not have to anymore if Rodgers leaves, because then
it really depends.
Is up for grabs. But after those two games on Saturday, we had two more on Sunday. And the Rams versus the Buccaneers started us off on Sunday. And this was another one, man. I don't know what it was about this weekend, but nothing went right for the teams that everybody thought was going to win. Mm-hmm. It really didn't. Like Brady, Gronk, Evans, I don't know. How did you feel about this game? And were you surprised on how it played out?
Yeah, I had the Bucs in this one. There were three upsets, like you said, and then the only favorite that won was the Chiefs, which we'll get to next. I had the Rams losing to the Bucs last second. I thought the Bucs were going to get a field goal, and it almost came down to that. They really climbed back. Brady just did not have enough time in the pocket. I know Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jansen were both injured. Some were in, some were not. So his O-line was banged up. He didn't have a lot of time to throw. He was resorting to throwing to Gronk in double coverage. That's where he threw a pick. So I just think the Rams offense really showed up, stayed with them, came out to a huge lead, and the defense did just enough to give that offense some time at the end. But yeah, they almost collapsed. I did not see it coming at all, though. I thought the Bucs were going to move on. I'm like, no, this team is still too loaded. I know they're hurt, but Brady knows what to do in the playoffs, doesn't make mistakes. And he actually made a mistake. So,
and when they tied it, and when Brady came back, dude, he came back from that deficit. I was like, here we go again. Just Matt Ryan sending it home, watching, having anxiety attacks and bringing back flashbacks. And I was just like, here we go. But I mean, Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford showed, and that was the one thing I even said, in my show, and I've talked about it a lot, all week, is it depends on how Matthew Stafford plays. If Matthew Stafford does what he did at Sunday versus the Bucs, the Rams could win the Super Bowl. But if he's the Matthew Stafford we saw in the Lions, then he ain't going nowhere. But the way him and Cooper Kupp played, man, that was definitely because Cooper Kupp's numbers was ridiculous again. I wish we could just keep that man playing like this forever.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to say it now, but I don't think he's going to have this great of a season next year. I think he's going to be good, but these numbers are ridiculous. I don't know, but that's my bold prediction for next year. But yeah, the Rams went and they won by a field goal. This was the third game in a row that was won by a field goal. Who's the Rams kicker again? I forgot his name. Is it Gay? Is it Matt Gay?
I know Matt Gay is either their punter or their kicker.
I forget.
Yeah, no, he's their kicker. You're right.
Okay, yeah, okay. And bro, I was just really, is this how the weekend's gonna go? All four games are gonna end by a field goal. And did you know I said it before we started recording too. This is the first time since 2009 that Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady isn't in a championship game.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
That 8th grade, bro. That's wild. We were graduating, and these people, it's ridiculous to think that maybe we finally see something new. Mm-hmm. And the last game of the week, what lived up to the hype in every which way, man. The Bills and Chiefs, they were phenomenal. It was ridiculous. This was the game of the week, and you said you were at work, And
yeah.
I mean, hey, I mean, it's okay. I mean, hey, at least you're able to watch some of it. I mean, I did not know which way this game was going to go at all. Josh Allen touchdown, Mahomes touchdown, Tyreek, Diggs, Singleton, everybody was getting involved, man. It was ridiculous. I I swear at one point I thought the game was over. I started watching something else, and then all of a sudden it's tied. I'm like, what is going on right now?
13-second drive.
I was that's why they say you never say 13 seconds isn't long enough. But man, that was crazy. And when it was 13 seconds, I'm like, no way. This ain't happening. Like, it's over. Bill's going to the championship game. Josh Allen chilling. And of course, what a surprise. Patrick Mahomes just goes out and does his thing and goes into overtime and wins. And they win the coin toss. And this is a lot of controversy I've heard a lot this week, is that the Bills should have got a shot in the playoffs. How do you feel? Do you think the Bills should have got a shot after Mahomes went down and scored that touchdown? He threw it to Kelsey, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was Kelsey for the touchdown. Like, do you think the Bills should have had a shot because it was the playoffs, or do you agree that because they got a touchdown, they won?
I thought the rule's been interesting for a while, but people who are saying this do have a point. I've heard a lot of people say, well, the same thing happened to the Chiefs a couple of years ago where they were on the wrong end of it and no one said anything. In the regular season, it doesn't really bite too many people. It can impact who makes the playoffs, but I saw a stat where 7 out of the 11 times that there's been an overtime game in the playoffs, a team has won the toss, gone down the field, and scored a touchdown, and no one had a chance. Like, no one on the other side had a chance. And if the defense is tired, and if that offense is the team that tied it, which is actually what happened here,
yeah,
you kind of get put at a disadvantage. So I think that there's some reevaluating that has to be done, but not just because of this game, because of what's happened the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing where it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Bills should have at least had a shot in the playoffs. Like, that's just me though. Maybe that's just because I want the Bills to win. But I mean, I don't know, man. This game lived up to the hype though. This game was everything we wanted in a divisional round. And all 4 of these games were. Like, they were all good in every which way, and they all were all different in their own. The rookie kicker, the Robbie Gould knocking out the Packers, the GOAT going down. And literally, it was wild. And that means we're down to 4 teams. It's down to championship week. Finally, championship week. I love that we get an extra week of football, because I know you might not be too much into wrestling, but the Royal Rumble is this Saturday and then championship week, and that never happens. So I'm all
there you go. It all lines up.
But yeah, it all lines up, and it's just going to be a fun weekend. But these 2 games are going to be really, really exciting. I really do think. And before we get into the games, do you want to talk about how the Bears hired Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus
or something like that? Yeah,
I said that way wrong.
I don't even know if I said it right.
It happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. They announced it early in the morning. I think it was that they announced it. That How do you feel about this hire? Because this was a guy, like we talked about off camera, they really weren't looking at. I wanted Brian Flores. Brian Flores.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh yeah. I wanted like Leslie Frazier, even Jim Cardwell.
Oh yeah, Caldwell was great. I would have liked him.
They even had Dan Quinn, and I heard Dan Quinn doesn't want to leave them boys, so I guess he's staying in Dallas. But how do you feel about this? Like, with the Bears just going from Ryan and Matt to a different Ryan and Matt.
It's got to be a joke. I know the McCaskies are just like playing a prank on everyone. I like Ryan Poles and his background from Kansas City, but Eberflus, I mean, he's the defensive coordinator for the Colts, and they just lost a win or go home game against the Jaguars, who have the worst record in the league. And they had Jonathan Taylor. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't think we need a defensive-minded coach either. I know we were talking this before you pressed record. We need someone who's going to help Justin Fields, the guy we invested in, spent picks on. Defense has never been an issue. They're just on the field for too long because the offense can't get anything going. They get tired, and that's how you lose football games.
We're averaging like 20 points a game every season. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a Bears team since Jay Cutler and Lovie Smith. Like that's another thing. Why didn't we just keep Lovie? We would have Lovie, Robbie, Greg Olsen, everybody. You'd be fine. Greg Olsen would have just retired last year, but still, and just is irritating.
The one that got away. Yep.
Literally, the two that got everybody that got away. It's so sad. But honestly, I just wanted, to mention that because the coaches and the GMs, there was a lot of firing after the season. So I heard that Byron
Leftwich. Byron Leftwich. Yep.
Yeah, I heard he's finalizing a deal to go to the Jaguars. So I don't know if that's true, but that would be
it's on hold, but I think he will be I forgot. Somebody put something on hold because they wanted a package with him, but I don't know exactly what's going on.
And then the guy from the Bills, the offensive coordinator, I heard is going to the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'd be good for Tua and Waddle. I think those two are going to be great next year. Just another year in the NFL and everything. But let's talk about these two championship games now. We got a little off track. We vented about the Bears. But now let's get in and see who's going to the Super Bowl. Who are we going to see in the dance at SoFi? Are we gonna see the Rams? Are the Rams going to be another team to get there like the Bucs did last year? Are we going to see the 49ers upset? But before we get to that game, let's talk about the Bengals and Chiefs, because this is one that, like, when the playoffs started, I didn't think it was going to happen. I don't know why. I thought the Bills and Chiefs could meet in the playoff or the championship game, and it obviously didn't happen.
It depends on what seedings.
I know,
win and stuff, but it could have happened. It's just the first round kind of screwed.
Yeah, I know.
Up, but
I did not see the Bengals getting this far at all. I thought the Titans were going to upset them last week. I really did. Do you think the Bengals can beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, or Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl?
It'd be a really cool story. The Bengals, they drafted Burrow literally a little over a year ago. I guess almost 2 years ago. They went I think it was 2-14. Andy Dalton's out. I don't think it can happen though. I think that the Chiefs are just too loaded. Burrow got sacked 9 times last week. I saw that playoff record. And Chris Jones on that defensive line in Kansas City, they're not scrubs. They had a little bit of an issue, but yeah.
And that was the other thing. Like they said, the Bengals offense didn't play great last week at all. Nope. Jamar Chase had a couple of good catches. T. Higgins had a big catch to get them into the field position and stuff for the field goal, but there wasn't a lot of offense. And we saw the way Patrick Mahomes needed 13 seconds to literally score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. That was ridiculous. It was just like, come on. I would, like you said, I'd love to see the story. I'd love to see Burrow and Chase go to the Super Bowl, but I don't see them beating the Chiefs at all. I think it's going to be a better game than people expect, but I think the Chiefs are going to go down and they're going to win and they're going to go to the championship, or they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs are literally becoming the Patriots now, and it's not fun no more.
It'll be 3 years in a row they've been in the big game. So
3 years, and I think this is their 4th year in a row they've been in the championship game too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because they dropped it to the Patriots 3 years ago. Yep.
Yeah, that's wild. I still remember watching that game and just being like, it's crazy how fast time flies, man. Mm-hmm. But what do you think? What's your prediction for the score?
Ooh, I am going to say 37-23. I think they beat them, like, not handily, but they'll get out ahead early, and I think Burrow is just going to get sacked a lot. They're an offensive line away, the Bengals are, from being a really, really good team that could go all the way, but I'm going to go 37-23 Chiefs.
They should have drafted that guy a few years ago.
Penei Sewell last year, but they got Chase instead, and I can't say Chase was a bad decision.
I'm not at all the way that those two played together. But I'm going to go 35-24.
Okay.
I'll say
a little closer.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't think that their offense can keep up with the Chiefs. And like I said, I don't. But the NFC now, this is a game come on, really? Championship game? I did not see this coming at all. I thought it was going to be the Bucs and Packers. The Bucs and somebody. But it's the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo versus Matthew Stafford and the Rams. What? Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. I guess that's what we call the football season. And I don't know. It's wild. It's crazy. Like what? Like I don't even want to root for anybody in this game, to be honest, at all. Like I just really don't. How do you feel about this game? Like, do you have a favorite for this game?
I think that Matthew Stafford basically did like a 10-year jail sentence in Detroit because he was stuck there.
Everybody goes. So did he? Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just gonna say, so I want Stafford to go to the big game. He's got a good supporting cast. I mean, he was a NFC North rival for a while, but he really wasn't a rival because we just batter the Lions every year. That's the one thing we can do in the Bears. So I'm gonna go with Stafford. I think that the Rams are really loaded. So I hope they win, and I do think that they're going to. They have lost the last 6 games to the 49ers, though. So it's
see, I didn't know that. Fun stat.
in 3
I didn't
years.
know that.
Yeah.
And hey, look, and everybody was saying that last week about Rodgers, that it was just the numbers, but I mean, we saw what happened with that. So you never know. Yeah, I'm taking the Rams also. I don't know why, but I don't like the 49ers. Like, I like Debo, I like Kittle, I like, I don't know. Like, there's just something about the 49ers that I don't know. I'd rather see a rematch. And I know Jared Goff's not on the team, but I think Matthew Stafford's an upgrade. But do you remember that Rams Chiefs game that happened, like, it might have even been like 4 years ago.
It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Where the ketchup and mustard game. Yeah.
And and it was one of the best games that I could remember. And I was just thinking about, I'm like, damn, that'd be a really good rematch. And again, Matthew Stafford's definitely a better upgrade than Jared Goff, because Jared Goff, what I was going to say while I was laughing, Jared Goff just got put in jail for the next like 5 years.
Yeah, now he's in jail. Yeah.
Everybody that goes to Detroit must be in jail because it's just not okay there. They all hate Michigan. Maybe we could put Javi Baez in the jail this year.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Let's not have him. But what's your prediction for this game? Do you think it's going to be lower scoring, higher scoring?
Score-wise, I'm going to go lower. I don't think that Stafford's going to make a whole lot of mistakes. He has throughout the regular season. I think he had 17 picks, but I'm going to go 24-20. I think that the 49ers, the reason they're here right now, they know how to make it close. They play a solid rushing attack. They dominate time of possession. Jimmy G's a game manager, but he has such a good supporting cast, and they know how to use Debo so much. That Shanahan especially knows how to use Debo so much. They're going to make it close. They're almost impossible to blow out because they play this annoying game where they just hold on to the ball for as long as possible, go down and score. They don't turn the ball over a whole lot. They don't make mistakes unless Jimmy G throws it down the field. So give me 24-20. Definitely lower scoring than that Chiefs Bengals game. That's going to be a shootout.
Sorry, that was just funny.
No, you're good.
Oh my god, that got me. But yeah, definitely. I think it will be lower scoring. But like you said, they like literally play ball handler, and when you have 4 running backs, when you count Debo being in the backfield half the time, and obviously Jimmy G only likes throwing it to Kittle because you can't catch the ball half the time and is like useless. Like, he's just, I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm gonna go 2017. I think it's gonna come down to another field goal.
I can see it. That's been the theme.
Let's just go with the theme of the field goals. But yeah, I think it's going to be the Rams and Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And I think that would be a really good game. And, we get the extra week next week. There's no football, sadly. No football since August. We get the Pro Bowl. Do you watch the Pro Bowl at all?
So last year I didn't, because they did like that weird Madden thing. But usually when they play in person, yeah, I'll watch it.
That's right. They did do the Madden thing and they all like faced each other. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't watch that.
But I don't know, man. I used to love the Pro Bowl, and it's like, I just feel like it's just like, let's play catch with everybody. I like the skill challenges though. Those are fun.
Those are really fun.
I remember a few years ago, Mitch was in there and I was all excited. I was like, hell yeah, Trubisky. And now Mitch Trubisky now has more playoff wins than the Bears. And isn't that crazy? Like,
yeah, he's sitting behind now.
He got farther than the Bears ever got him. So, but I mean, we both have the same Super Bowl predictions, and since we probably won't talk again until the Super Bowl, who do you have winning? If it's the Rams and Chiefs.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs just have the experience. I know it's going to start to get boring. A lot of people, like you said before, you can kind of start to compare it to the Patriots dynasty if they go 2 for 3 here in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm going to say that they're too seasoned. They've been in more big games. I think this is where Stafford could get stage fright. I mean, you're on a team where your season is over by week 12 or 13 every year in the Lions, and all of a sudden you jump to being a Super Bowl contender, and then you get to the big game against Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. I think it's going to be too much. I hate to say it. The moment's going to be too much for him, and the Chiefs are going to put up 30 to 40 points almost every game, and I don't see the Rams doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous, man. And that's the thing where it's just like, like they even said it throughout the season. The Lions are always eliminated before Thanksgiving. Like, that's
literally.
Like, and that's like, and now he's playing into February, and I don't think people realize, like, And I don't think that's why people don't like, they need to respect Brady more with like going back to Brady. He's won so many and he's done this so many times. Imagine how much that just takes out of you, because like doing this over and over again, because like he loses like 2 or 3 months on everybody because he's always in the goddamn Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, like you said, I just think I think it'd be like a Rex Grossman type game where we just see like him play okay, but he just, and that defense, I think for the Rams could keep Mahomes down a little bit, but like you said, they're going to score 30, 40 and it's going to be over and we're going to be celebrating with Andy Reid at the end of the year and some cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
Another cheeseburger. Yeah.
Hell yeah. We'll go get him. We'll go get him for Andy this year.
Right.
But I appreciate you, Corey, you joining me for this episode and this show. Appreciate you coming back here on Tino's Time and hanging out with me for a little bit and talking some football and getting your playoff predictions and your Super Bowl winner, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I always appreciate it.
No problem. Is there anything coming out that you want the people to know about? Any shows? Anything that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I run the All Sports Now podcast. We post about once a week. Doesn't really go up on YouTube anymore. It's mostly on Anchor, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can probably find us there. So we post every week. It was every Monday, and now it's kind of every weekend since we're letting the NFL schedule dictate what we do. But yeah, and then I do have a TikTok at all.sports now. We just do little things like I'll do a random fact about this day in history.
They're so fun. They're so fun.
Yeah, so I try and do those a little bit. But yeah, feel free to support.
What's the TikTok handle so everybody knows?
Oh yeah, all.sports now or Corey.sparks. I have 2 sports accounts. Yep.
Okay. Well, again, I appreciate you joining me for this episode. Let's see what happens with the Chiefs. We're going to stay in touch, and I hope to have you next year for the fantasy football. Maybe we'll do something for baseball during the summer. I don't know.
We should do a league. That'd be fun.
There we go. That would be so much fun. That works. But until next time, everybody, Tino Nation, remember Tino's Time Wrestling. We have the collection episode coming out. The Royal Rumble is this weekend, the beginning to the road to WrestleMania. I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Don't forget to go smash that subscribe button. Go like, follow at Tino Time 1996. Go follow my man Corey. I hope everybody has a safe and nice weekend. And until we preview the Super Bowl next Tuesday, this is your boy Tino signing out.